Alright guys, what is going on? We're outside once again. The summer vibe is here. It's coming in, and it's, that summer vibe, you know how it is. Fucking good shit. Today I want to talk about just taking responsibility for your life, and talk about the victim mentality that many of us get into, especially this day and age, you see, like, about like decades ago, people just got on with their life. They just fucking got on with shit, like fucking wars going on, fucking world wars going on, but people just fucking got on with their lives. They didn't fucking whine. They just fucking did it. But today, there's so many people just whinging about anxiety and just like, oh, I can't do it. Oh, it's too hard. Oh, what will people think of me? And it's just, that they feel so much like a victim. And I don't know why this is. And it's, I don't know. It's not a bad thing. It's just, well, it is like, it is how it is, but I don't know. But, you know, uh, I don't know if I'll have much to talk about this because my whole life, since I can remember, I've been running this victim mentality on and on and on. But I really just sort of want to fucking get past it now. I'm at my point in life where I'm just like, I'm so fucking done with this mentality. I need to fucking do something about it. I can't just sit down and whinge. I need to fucking take responsibility for my life and start doing what I want to do. It's a very tricky one because it's fraught with paradox. Yeah, it very much is a paradoxical thing, a loop that you can get stuck in. It's a loop. You've really got to do 180 and head in a different direction. It's a whole perspective, perception shift. And yeah, I've been running this victim mentality for a long, long time. But I know I need to fucking get out of it now. Like, it's like, I think there comes a point in life where the risk of not doing anything with your life becomes worse than the risk of doing something with your life. Like, you can sit down in your room in your comfort zone, and there's a risk there. There's a risk that you're not going to be following your dreams. But then following your dreams is also a risk. You got to step outside your comfort zone and go do shit. And I think there comes a point where the risk of staying in your comfort zone becomes more painful than the one of stepping outside it. And this is basically what's been going on in my life. Just, just constantly trying to step out my comfort zone and then going, oh, yeah, I can't do it, it's too difficult. And I stay in the comfort zone, but then it's just really painful because, like, I need to fucking get out there and do what I want to do. I need to take responsibility for my life. So yeah, um, I've been thinking, like, affirmations are really gonna help me here. I need to work some out, write a few down, find the best ones to use. I preferably only really want to use one or two. If you get any more than that, it becomes too complex and difficult to remember. But one that you can just keep running in your head every day, where it's you have some sort of victim idea, and then you run that affirmation that counters it, and that you can just go, oh, okay, yeah, no, I won't go that direction, I'll go here. Affirmations are really controversial for some people, I think. Some people are like, yeah, they really work, they're grand. Other people will say, you can't fake shit, you can't fake positivity, what are you doing? But I think, I think both people are right in a sense. It's really how you use it, you cannot fake it. You have to believe the affirmation. There has to be some truth within the affirmation. Let's give an example. Say you feel anxious all the time, and then you start using an affirmation like, I am confident, or I approve of myself. If you keep saying that and you don't believe it, then you're just going to get frustrated, you're feeling anxious and then you go, I approve of myself, or I am confident, and then you just counter that and go, oh, but I'm fucking not, I fucking hate this, You have to find the truth within it. I think that there is truth in everything, and there is falseness in everything. I think everything has aspects of trueness and falseness within it. And it's about finding the evidence that is true. Because I can say oh, I'm anxious most of the time, but then if I keep running that affirmation, because that is an affirmation, the thing is, we affirm to ourselves every day, whether we realize that or not. And that runs our life. The thoughts that we have are affirmations. The thoughts about ourselves are affirmations. That's what affirmations are, So me saying oh, I'm not very good at socializing with people is an affirmation that I keep running in my head. But it's if I keep running that in my head, then of course I'm never going to be fucking good at socializing with people. If I keep having that limiting belief. But then to counter that and be oh, I'm really good at socializing with people. I can see where people are you can't fake positivity. You can't just pretend that you're good at socializing with people when you're not. You can't just lie to yourself. And I get that. However, you have to find the evidence that supports what you're trying to counter. So, me running in my head saying, oh, I'm not good at socializing with people, counter it by saying, I'm really good at socializing with people. I've got to find evidence where that is true, where I can start to believe that. And there are times when I have been good at socializing with people. There have been times when my intuitive self flows out so naturally, and I have a good conversation with someone. And so there's the evidence, It's oh yeah, I'm good there, yeah. And yeah, so I think it's about really holding on to that. And of course it's going to be fucking hard, but with time, you're gonna get there. There are going to be days where you feel fucking shit and worthless. And you're going to be running these affirmations I am worthy, I am worthy of love, I approve of myself, I love myself, and all this shit. And it's going to feel fucking fake and phony. But I don't know. This is a new thing I'm working with, and I haven't really found any. I haven't really worked with it yet. I want to fucking write down some affirmations and pick the few that I really need at the moment, you know. It's still hard to get your head around this of just like, you can't lie to yourself, you can't fake positivity. But on the other side is, no, you just have to find the evidence that supports that belief. It's a fine line, and it's hard to get it. Because really, it comes down to feeling it. It's about feeling. You can say to yourself, I'm worthy, 1,000 times a day, but if you're not feeling that like it's true, then it's not going to do anything. You have to feel it in your body. Your body has to feel like you are worthy. You know, like, if I felt worthy, what would that feel like in my body? Just imagine, like, let's just pretend that I do feel worthy of anything, of achieving anything in my life. What would I feel like in my body and my mind and my thoughts? What would I feel like if that were true? And you start to do that, and then if you keep doing that, it becomes practice, and then it's just, you know, whatever you practice becomes perfect. So if you keep practicing the feelings of worthiness within your body, then that's just, you know, practice, it's going to become more natural to you. This is basically what it is, you know. You're practicing what it feels like, because I know that a lot of people out there who may be struggling with depression and anxiety and stuff like that have experienced, at least some point in their life, some sort of happiness, some sort of joy in their lives. I'm sure their life hasn't been 100% fucking shit. I'm sure there has been some positivity, and maybe not in comparison to someone else, but in comparison to your own life, I'm sure there's been a spectrum of, you know, to someone else, your life might be always depressed, but to your own self, comparing your own life to your own life, you know, there's a spectrum of, you know, really shit and just, yeah, ordinary okay. Let's stick with that, ordinary okay, right? Let's stick with that. You know, I'm sure in everyone's life, I'm sure there has been an okayness, right? And so, yeah, I can't remember what I was fucking saying there, but yeah, about practicing that feeling, imagining what it would be like if that were true, if the thing that you desired was true, feeling what that feels like. And the thing about this is you have to be really fucking present with this. You have to be fully present. You cannot be, at least not thinking about the past. You cannot be thinking about your past story and thinking like, oh yeah, I feel worthy. Oh, but in the past I'm so shit. That's never gonna work. You know, you have to. It really comes down to presence when you're practicing this. Like, you got to forget your story, your narrative that you keep telling yourself. Because my narrative is, oh, I've been anxious my whole life. Okay, great. That doesn't have to define where I'm heading, though. I don't have to be anxious for the rest of my life just because I was anxious before this point right now. I can choose to switch direction and fucking go wherever I want. The present moment is where creation starts. You have to let go of the past and visualize a future that you want to be. Visualize a future where you want to be doing things you want to do and being someone that you want to be. And holding on to the past, you cannot go in that direction because you're just going to be going in your fucking, you know, heading in where you've always headed based on the past. You've got to let go of the past. It's fucking hard. Of course it is. But what else are we going to do? Do you want to live a life? Like, do you want to fucking live a good life? Everyone wants to live a good life. But yeah, the victim mentality. The victim mentality. The one where it says, I can't be happy because of such and such. I can't be happy because in my past I've experienced anxiety and depression and it's so hard for me, and I can't be happy, I can't do this and this because my parents have these beliefs that make me can't do that. It's the victim mentality is always the blame game. I could be happy if my parents didn't do this and did this instead. I could be happy if society was different like this. I could be happy if, you know, I went to a different school, or I could be happy if I had, it's always I could be happy if. The victim mentality is always trying to find evidence to not take responsibility. You know, always like, oh, but you wouldn't understand. I've had such and such life, and it's been so hard on me. You wouldn't understand. You don't understand how I feel. You don't realize what I'm going through. And the thing is that we all go through shit. We all go through shit. Life is suffering. Suffering is inevitable. It's about what you do with it, though. Everyone's a victim. It's just that the people who are successful haven't let that got to them. They haven't, because basically having a victim mentality is just doing that because they don't want to take responsibility. And I'm saying I'm really talking about me. It's a fucking difficult one to get out of. Like, I realize it. And they're not wrong. Like, they have been victimized. We've all been victimized, though. And that just, says, like, okay, if we're all a victim, then we might as well just say none of us are victims. It's the same thing, right? There aren't victims and non-victims. We're all victims. And the thing is that we're also victimizers as well. We also are the oppressors on other people. We also make other people a victim. We could say like, oh, it's not fair that my parents treat me like this, You don't understand, I've had this childhood that's so fucked up. And, but you see, if your parents are, like, your parents are victims as well. I can't explain, but what I'm trying to say is that we're all victims of victims. Having the victim mentality, I think, is just an excuse to not take responsibility for your own life. And I get it, because it's scary. It's fucking scary to go out and get what you want, and to be what you want, to do what you want. It's scary, of course it is. And people don't want to take that responsibility. When we're born, it's like a poker game. We're all given a hand of cards, And we don't choose the hand, you know, it's a random luck of the draw. And we have to play it the best we do. Some people might have a really fucking grand hand, other people might have the shittest one ever. It's about how you play it though, how you're gonna play the game, you know? So I think this is really what it comes down to, you know, like I've always like for the past few years I've been like, okay, well I need to fucking improve myself because I cannot hold on to this depression and anxiety and make it part of my identity and not take responsibility for my life. I can't hold on to this because it's fucking killing me inside. And so I've, you know, fucking got into spirituality and self-improvement and personal growth and trying to figure out what I can do to be better, to be happier. And I think this is what I found is like, this is it. Trying to shift my perspective to realize that I'm not a victim. Or I am a victim, but everyone else is as well. I'm not going to let that control my life. I'm going to take responsibility for my life. I think this is the broad thing which I really need to just take down and move in a different fucking direction. To keep exploring that, you know, if I keep going, oh, why does this happen, you know, go on the internet and type in, like, the problems that I'm having, like, forget that. I think I know it now. I just have to keep bringing in the idea of like, am I being a victim? Am I playing the victim right now in my mind with this problem that I'm having? Answer is probably yes. And so I just need to counteract that and take responsibility for my life. I know it's not easy, but it's what we all got to do. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's difficult because people who suffer from the victim mentality greatly, it's a deeply rooted program within their subconscious where they go and try and live a happy life, and then it's just they get bombarded with these unconscious thoughts that are so rooted in the victim mentality, and you're unconscious of it. There are so many fucking thoughts going on in your head that you're unconscious about, that are just, you know, your conditioning, your programming from childhood up until now, and then you just start feeling this emotion like anxiety or anger or depression, and it's like, fuck's sake, why do I fucking feel like this? Because it's hard to be conscious of the thoughts that are going on in your head, because they're so fucking just sort of, you know, habitual and just running constantly that it's hard to be conscious of it. And I think here what can really help is meditation. To just sit down and focus on your thoughts. Just be aware of your thoughts. Let them come in and pass away, and don't judge them, don't cling on to them and build stories upon them. Just let them come into your field of awareness and just acknowledge them, and then let them fade, and then another one come in, acknowledge, let them fade, you know. I think meditation really can help here. So I've been meditating on and off for a bit, but I'm making it part of my daily routine now. Today is the fifth or sixth day of, yeah, sixth day of meditation. I've only been doing 5 minutes a day, but I'm gonna do 5 minutes more each month. So by December, I'll be doing 20 minutes a day, and I think it's good to work your way up. You know, to dive in deep and just be like, I've never meditated. I'm gonna meditate 20 minutes a day tomorrow for the whole year. You can get discouraged like that and be like, you know, I think it's good to build up to it. So start with 5 minutes a day. If you can't even do 5 minutes, like, just do fucking 1 minute. Do fucking 1 minute a day for a month, and then the next month bump it up to 2 or 5. You know, this is what I'm doing. So I'm doing 5 minutes this month, and then next month bump it up to 10, next to 15, you know. Meditation really, I think it is a really good tool to have in your belt. Really good tool. Especially if you're doing it daily. You need to be doing it daily. Because you might meditate one day and it might be really easy. You might meditate the next and it'll be really hard. So, you know, if you just do it like, if you just try meditation once and it's really easy, it's like, oh, I don't need to do meditation. Or if you try and it's really hard, then you go, oh, I can't do that, it's too hard. There are going to be days where it's easier. There are going to be days where it's harder. But you've got to keep at it, I think. So yeah, make meditation part of your daily practice. I reckon if you are suffering from the victim mentality, like myself, if you want to take responsibility for your life, and a lot of people don't want to take responsibility for their life, but it's the only way. It's, you know, you've got to take responsibility for your life if you want to be happy. It's the only way. You cannot blame anyone because there's no one to blame. No, there's no one to blame. Reality is the way it is just because it is. There's no one to blame. If you blame someone, they've just been a victim of someone else. So, you know, we're all victims of victims. There is nothing, no one to blame. You've got to take responsibility for your life. Yeah. People think that they'll find happiness outside themselves. Like, this person will give me happiness, or this thing will give me happiness. You have to rely on yourself to be happy. Nothing outside of you can make you fully happy in the long term. You've got to find it within yourself. And happiness is a word that's, you know, I don't know, maybe you should be striving more for meaning rather than happiness. Because, I mean, happiness is a different concept in everyone's mind. I think you should be striving for meaning rather than happiness. And I think the only way that you can find meaning if you take responsibility yourself to find, I don't fucking know what I'm saying anymore, but yeah, there are some things that I need to fucking work on. Fucking affirmations and meditation. Make it part of my daily rotation. And don't beat yourself up. That just really fucking slows the process. Take it from me. Even though I'll probably fucking do it again in the future, but you know, you try something out and it starts working good, and then you just start getting really fucking angry and depressed and shit. and then you beat yourself up like, oh fucking hell, I can't do anything wrong. It just slows the process down. Just like keep persevering, keep moving forward, keep going at it. You know, don't stop and hate yourself for not doing it right. That's the thing, is like, you're going to fail, but you'll find meaning out of that failing. You'll learn from failing. You're going to fail. It's inevitable. But, you know, if you didn't fail, then you wouldn't learn. And if you didn't learn, then you wouldn't grow. And if you didn't grow, then you'd be stuck where you are now. And if you're suffering from fucking anxiety and all this shit, you don't want to be where you are now. But that's not to say to not like where you are now. You've got to appreciate where you are now, accept it, but also know where you want to go. I don't know. There's some thoughts there. So thanks for watching. Whoever's watching this. Be interesting if anyone watches this. I'll see you guys next time.